The great hall of the alien palace was dark and cold. Strange fires burned in the corners, giving everything a red glow. The air was heavy with the smell of metal and smoke. In the center of the hall, the powerful Baron Zulik sat on his throne. His long, sharp claws tapped on the armrest as he stared down at the human standing before him. The human's name was Jack Vereen, a tall man with scars on his face and a cold look in his eyes. He was a warrior from Earth, the last of his kind. In this part of the galaxy, he had fought many battles, and today he stood before the Baron as a champion. "You fought well, human," Baron Zulak said, his voice deep and cruel. "You killed my enemies and pleased me. I will give you a reward." Jack stood silent. He knew the Baron was not a friend. The alien lord loved games and tricks. Whatever reward he was about to give, it would not be honest. The Baron waved his hand. "Bring her." Two alien guards dragged something into the hall. At first, Jack thought it was a statue. It was a tall, thin figure, covered in a silver dress, but it didn't move. Then he saw it was a young alien woman, her skin pale like moonlight, her eyes half open but empty. "This," the Baron laughed, "is my daughter Velara. She is paralyzed. A useless broken thing. I give her to you, human. A joke gift. A warrior like you needs a pet, yes?" The hall filled with laughter. The aliens enjoyed the mockery. But Jack kept his eyes on the girl. There was something strange about her. She looked weak, but her eyes, they were glowing softly, like they held a secret. "Why is she paralyzed?" Jack asked. The Baron grinned. "She was born wrong. Her mind is awake, but her body is dead. She can't speak, can't move. She is trash." Jack stepped closer. Velara's eyes followed him slowly. No one else noticed, but Jack did. And then, very softly like a voice in the wind, he heard something. "Help me. Awaken me." Jack froze. He looked around. No one else had heard it. The Baron was still laughing with his men. But Jack was sure Velara had spoken, not with her mouth, but with her mind. Jack turned to the Baron. "I accept your gift." The Baron stopped laughing for a moment, surprised. Then he smiled wickedly. "Good, take her. Do what you want with her." Jack picked up Velara gently. She was light, like she had no strength at all. As he carried her out of the hall, the aliens continued to laugh. But Jack didn't care. He had seen something in her eyes. He had heard her voice. Outside the palace, Jack placed Velara on his small ship. He checked her pulse, her breathing. She was alive, just ... he whispered. "I heard you. Can you speak again?" There was silence for a moment. Then the same soft voice in his mind. "Thank you ... for taking me away." Jack nodded. "Who did this to you? Your father?" "Yes," she said. "He feared me. I was born with power ... too much power. He locked my mind inside my body. I can only speak with my thoughts, to those who can hear." Jack sat back, thinking hard. He had heard stories of psychic abilities, powers of the mind. Some humans had weak forms of it, but aliens had stronger versions. Still, he had never seen one like Velara. "Why me?" he asked. "Why can I hear you?" "Because you are not like them," she replied. "You have a spark ... a mind that listens. That is why I called to you." Jack looked at her carefully. Her body was still like stone, but her eyes ... they were alive. "I will help you," Jack said. "I don't know how yet, but I will." Velara's eyes glowed brighter for a moment. "Thank you, Jack Vereen. I believe you can." Just then, an alert beeped. On Jack's ship, a secret message flashed. "Warning. The Baron's spies are watching. Leave at once." Jack cursed. He quickly started the engines. The Baron had given Velara as a joke, but maybe he wanted Jack dead too. Maybe he feared what Velara could become if she was free. As the ship lifted into space, Jack looked at her again. "What are you really, Velara?" She answered softly, something. The galaxy has not seen yet ... if I can awaken. The ship flew into the dark sky, leaving the Baron's planet behind. But Jack knew this was just the beginning. There was something special inside Valara, something dangerous and powerful. And now, she was his responsibility. The cold of space surrounded the small ship. But inside, something was waking up. Valara's eyes glowed softly in the dark. Her body still didn't move, but her mind was alive, brighter than ever before. She had not felt this much energy in years. And it was because of the human, Jack Vereen. Jack watched her carefully from the pilot seat. He had seen soldiers, killers, and monsters in his life. But Valara, she was something different. She was a mystery he wanted to solve. As the ship sailed through the stars, Jack said, "We need to get somewhere safe. The Baron will come for us." Valara's voice echoed in his mind. "I know. He fears me. He always has." Jack frowned. What is he so afraid of? Valara's answer was quiet but clear. "My power. He knows if I awaken, I can destroy him." Those words hung heavy in the air. Jack believed her. He had seen a flicker of her strength when she spoke into his mind. But her body was still broken. "I'll find a way to fix this." Jack promised. He flew to a hidden planet called Raven 9, a place where old human and alien tech was traded secretly. An old friend of Jack lived there, a mechanic named Taro, who knew more about machines than anyone. When they landed, Taro stared at Valara's still body. "She's alive?" "She looks dead. She's alive inside," Jack said. "I need your help." Taro examined her with scanners. His face grew serious. "This isn't just paralysis. Her body has ... blockers. Someone used technology to trap her nervous system, like chains on her mind. Can you remove it?" Jack asked. Taro shook his head. "It's not that easy. The tech is alien and ancient. I can't break it." "But maybe you can." "Me?" Jack raised his eyebrows. "You have some psychic spark, Jack," Taro said. "I've seen it before. That's why you can hear her mind. Maybe with the right machine, you can connect deeper." Jack thought for a moment, then nodded. "Let's try." Taro set up an old mind-linked device, a machine that allowed thoughts to connect directly between two people. Jack placed the band on his head and another on Valara's. The machine hummed. Then everything went black. Suddenly, Jack was standing inside a strange world, not the real one, but a world made of light and shadows. And in the center stood Valara, not paralyzed, but tall and glowing like a star. "Jack," she said, "you're inside my mind." Jack looked around. The place felt endless, but heavy chains floated in the air, wrapping around Valara's body. These chains ... "Your father did this?" Jack asked. "Yes. He locked me away because he saw what I could become," Valara said. "If I can break these chains, I will be free. But I can't do it alone." "Then I'll help you," Jack said. Together they pulled at the chains. It was painful. Jack felt fire in his head, like his skull would split. But he pushed on. Valara screamed, her voice shaking the air, but she didn't stop either. One chain broke. Valara gasped. "I can feel ... my hand." Outside, in the real world, Valara's finger twitched for the first time. Taro stared in shock. She moved. Jack and Valara kept going. Each chain was harder than the last, but with every break, Valara's mind grew stronger. Finally, they broke 3 chains. Jack collapsed in the mind world, exhausted. "I can't pull anymore," he said. "You've done enough," Valara said gently. "You gave me the first spark." The mind world faded. Jack woke up gasping, sweat pouring from his face. Valara's voice came again, clearer now. "Thank you, Jack. I can feel my body ... slowly waking." Then the ship's alarm blared. Taro ran to the screen. "We have a problem. A ship is coming. Fast." Jack jumped up. "Who?" Taro's face went pale. An assassin ship, the Baron's men. Jack grabbed his weapons. They found us. Valara whispered, I'm not ready, but I can help. Jack stood by her side. You've done enough, let me handle this. But as the assassin ship landed nearby, Valara's eyes glowed brighter than before. A soft hum filled the room. Power was growing inside her. The door of the ship opened. Jack aimed his rifle. Outside, dark figures approached, deadly assassins sent to kill them. Then, a sudden pulse of energy blasted from Valara's body, a wave of light that pushed Jack back but didn't hurt him. The walls shook, and outside, the assassins screamed as the energy burned their minds. In seconds, it was over. The assassins lay dead, their brains fried by a power they couldn't understand. Jack stared at Valara, wide-eyed. You did that? Valara's voice was weak but proud. The first spark. I told you. I'm waking up, Jack smiled. Good, because we're just getting started. The smell of burnt metal and smoke filled the ship. The walls still vibrated from the blast of energy that came from Valara. The assassins sent by the Baron were dead, but their warning was clear. They would not stop hunting her. Jack Vereen stood silently, staring at Valara. She still lay on the bed, her body weak, yet the glow in her eyes was stronger now. She had killed their attackers without moving a muscle. You just saved us, Jack said, amazed. And you didn't even move. Valara's voice whispered. Into his mind, I felt something. Like a door in my mind is opened. Jack stepped closer. Can you move more? Valara tried. Slowly, her fingers shook. Her hand moved just a little, then her arm. It was painful to watch, but it was a start. Jack smiled. That's good, Valara. That's real good. But Valara's voice was not happy. I am still too weak. I need more strength. If they come again, I won't save us twice. Jack nodded. He knew she was right. She needed full control of her powers, and fast. We need help, Jack said. I know someone who might teach you. Jack turned the ship toward a distant planet called Syra 3, a dangerous place, full of storms and ruins, but also home to a secret group, the Mind Weavers. They were monks who trained minds to unlock hidden powers. As the ship traveled, Jack helped Valara train her body. Each day, she tried to move more. First her fingers, then her hands, then her feet. It was slow, painful, but Jack was always there. One night, Jack heard her voice again. Jack. I want to tell you something. What is it? He asked. I'm afraid of myself, she said. My father said I was a monster. What if ... he was right? Jack shook his head. You're not a monster. The Baron locked you up because he was scared of what you could do if you were free. But freedom isn't wrong. Valara was silent for a moment. Then she said, Thank you, Jack. Finally, they reached Syra 3. The planet was covered in storms. Lightning flashed in purple skies. But deep inside the caves, the Mind Weavers lived. Jack carried Valara through the caves until they met the leader, a thin, tall alien with bright silver eyes. His name was Master Yulin. You bring a girl filled with chaos, Yulin said, sensing Valara's energy. She is dangerous. She needs guidance, Jack replied. Help her control her power. Master Yulin thought for a moment, then agreed. Very well. But know this, if she loses control here, no one will survive. For days, Valara trained with the Mind Weavers. They connected her mind to the energy of the planet. She learned to breathe with the wind, to feel the storm's power. Jack watched as she lifted small stones with her mind, then bigger rocks. Then she created a shield of light around herself. Each day, her body moved more, her mind grew sharper. One evening, as Jack stood outside watching the sky, Valara walked to him. On her own feet, Jack turned, shocked. You're walking, Valara smiled. Barely, but yes. I feel alive again. Jack laughed. I knew you could do it. But just then, A loud alarm echoed through the caves. Master Yulin ran to them. "You must leave. The Baron's army is coming," Jack cursed. "He found us." Valara closed her eyes. "I'm ready." Master Yulin looked at her with respect. "Then show them who you are." Outside, ships landed. Hundreds of alien soldiers surrounded the caves. The Baron had sent his best warriors. Jack loaded his rifle. "This will be a fight." Valara stood beside him, her eyes glowing like stars. "I will protect you, Jack. I won't be trapped again." The soldiers charged. Jack fired his rifle, taking down the first wave. But there were too many. Then Valara raised her hands. The air shimmered. Light formed around her like a storm. She sent a wave of energy forward, throwing the soldiers back like leaves in the wind. She was not just defending, she was fighting. Jack watched in awe as Valara created walls of energy, blades of light, and bursts of power that burned through enemy lines. The battle was fierce, but with Valara's power and Jack's skill, the Baron's army fell one by one. When the dust settled, the field was silent. The enemies were gone. Jack looked at Valara. She stood tall, breathing hard, but smiling. "You did it," Jack said. Valara nodded. "This is just the beginning, Jack. I'm awake now. And I'm not afraid anymore." But deep in space, the Baron watched from his ship, his eyes filled with rage. "She grows stronger," the Baron growled. "But I will crush them both soon." Asterisk. The stars outside the window looked peaceful, but inside Jack's ship, a storm was growing. Valara sat quietly, staring at her hands. Power flowed through her fingers like threads of light, but her face was serious, almost sad. Jack Vareen noticed. "You should be happy," he said. "You're moving, you're fighting, you're stronger than ever." Valara shook her head. Slowly, "There's something you don't know about me, Jack. Something even I forgot until now." Jack frowned. "What are you talking about?" Valara looked at him, her glowing eyes softer now. "You asked why my father feared me. I remember it now. The truth. He wasn't just afraid. He was terrified because of what I really am." She paused, then whispered, "I was not just born with power. I was created." Jack stared. "Created? What do you mean?" Valara touched her forehead, her voice echoing in Jack's mind. "My father used ancient science to build me before I was born. He mixed alien DNA with energy from a dead star. I was made to be the perfect mind, a being of light and force. But when I was a child, my power killed someone by accident. I couldn't control it." She looked away, guilt in her eyes. "My father saw it and locked my body. He chained me so I'd never move, never awaken." Jack's hands tightened into fists. "So instead of helping you, he turned you into a prisoner." Valara nodded. "He called me a danger to the galaxy. Maybe I am." Jack stepped forward. "No, he did that because he was a coward. Power isn't evil, it's what you do with it." For a moment, silence hung between them. Then the ship's radar beeped. Jack checked the screen. "We have company." An unknown signal was approaching them, not alien, but something familiar. Suddenly, a voice came through the speakers. "Human vessel, identify yourself." "This is I Sentinel-9, last guardian of Earth." Jack's eyes widened. "Earth? Is this really from Earth?" Valara's eyes lit up. "Earth? I've only heard stories." The voice continued. "Your passenger, Valara Zulek, her energy has awakened. Earth systems detected it across space. Come to these coordinates." "We need to speak." Jack looked at Valara. She nodded. "Let's go." They jumped into hyperspace. Hours later, they arrived at the edge of Earth's system, but Earth was not the blue planet Jack remembered. It was scarred, dark in places, surrounded by alien war machines. Earth had been conquered long ago, but in its shadows, something still lived. They landed on the surface, in the ruins of an old city. A tall metal tower stood in the center, glowing faintly. Inside the tower, a hologram appeared, a figure of light. It was Sentinel-9, Earth's last AI guardian. The AI spoke. "Valara, you are the child of the dead star. Your power is dangerous, but also needed. Earth is not dead, not yet. But the alien warlords who rule here, they fear you. They will come for you." Valara asked, "Why me? Why do I matter?" The eye replied, "Because you are more than energy. Inside you is the key to restart Earth's core, the power to awaken the planet again. But if you lose control, you can destroy it too." Jack shook his head. "That's a lot to put on her." The eye stared at them. "It is the truth. But there is hope. If you train, if you grow, Earth can fight back." Valara looked down. "But what if? I can't control it. What if I burn the world instead?" Jack stepped beside her. "You won't, because you're not alone." Valara smiled faintly. "Thank you, Jack." Just then, the AI flashed red. Warning. Enemy ships detected. The Baron... He's here. Far above, in the sky, the Baron's fleet arrived, dark. Sharp ships covering the stars like a shadow. From his command ship, the Baron laughed. "Run, if you want, but I will have my daughter back. Or her corpse." Jack looked at Valara. "We have to prepare." Valara's eyes burned bright. "Let him come. I'm ready to show him who I really am." The wind howled across the ruins. The storm was coming, but this time, Valara was not afraid. The sky over Earth burned red. Alien warships floated like giants above the ruins. The Baron's fleet had arrived, and this time, he had come himself, to take back what he called his broken daughter. But Valara was no longer broken. She stood on a high rooftop in the dead city, the wind blowing her silver hair like a banner of light. Jack Varine stood beside her, holding his rifle tight. Below them, the last human rebels gathered, men and women who had been hiding for years. They had seen Earth fall. But now, they saw hope. One of the rebels, a tall woman named Lena, looked at Valara with wide eyes. "She's the one? The girl with the power?" Jack nodded. "She's more than that. She's our chance." High above, the Baron's voice echoed across the sky through speakers. "Valara, my child, stop this foolishness. Return to me, and I will spare these humans." Valara's eyes glowed brighter. "He calls me his child, but I was only his prisoner." She turned to the rebels. "I was made to be a weapon, but today... I choose to fight for Earth." The rebels cheered, their fear turning into courage. For the first time in years, they had a leader, not just a human, but a force. Then, without warning, the Baron's army landed, waves of alien soldiers with dark armor and glowing weapons. Jack looked at Valara. "Can you handle this?" Valara smiled faintly. "Watch me." She raised her hands, and the ground trembled. Light poured from her body, forming shields around the humans. The first wave of aliens fired, but their shots bounced off Valara's. Energy walls. Jack and the rebels fired back, pushing forward. Then Valara focused. She lifted her hand, and with a sharp motion, sent a pulse of light into the sky. The energy struck an alien dropship, exploding it in midair. More aliens rushed forward, but Valara was faster. She summoned blades of pure light, slashing through the enemy lines. Each movement was graceful but deadly. Jack watched in awe. She wasn't just fighting, she was dancing with power. But then, something dark stirred. Far above, on his flagship, the Baron watched. His face twisted with anger. "She is stronger than I expected," he muttered. Time to remind her of fear. He pressed a button, and a new ship descended, black, sharp, and humming with dark energy. Inside it was a terrible machine called the Voidbreaker, a device designed to drain energy from living beings. If it touched Valara, it could suck the power right out of her body. Back on the ground, Valara suddenly felt weak. She stumbled, the glow in her eyes dimming. "Something's wrong," she whispered. Jack caught her. "What's happening?" "He's here. The Baron sent something. It's pulling my power away." Jack looked up and saw the black ship approaching. "Then we'll stop it." The human rebels fired at the Voidbreaker, but their weapons barely scratched it. Valara gritted her teeth. "I won't let him take me again." She closed her eyes, focusing deep inside herself. She saw the chains her father had placed, but she also saw the parts of her mind still locked. Then. She heard Jack's voice in her head. "You're not alone. I believe in you." With that, something clicked. A hidden door inside her mind swung open. Valara screamed, but not in pain. In power. Light exploded from her body, brighter than ever before. The Voidbreaker shook, its systems frying. With one motion, Valara lifted both hands, and a beam of pure white energy shot from her palms, piercing the black ship. The Voidbreaker exploded in a ball of fire. Silence followed. Then the rebels cheered. Jack smiled, his eyes full of pride. Valara stood tall. "I'm not your prisoner anymore, father." Up in the sky, the Baron's face twisted with rage. "So be it. You want war? You shall have it." His fleet prepared for full assault, but Earth was no longer weak. Valara turned to the humans. "This is your planet. Stand with me, and we'll take it back." The humans raised their weapons high. The air was filled with one word: for Earth. The battle for the planet had just begun. The ground shook under their feet. The sky was no longer a sky. It was a battlefield. From orbit, the Baron's warships rained fire down on Earth. Beams of red light cut through the clouds, destroying buildings, forests, and anything in their path. But in the middle of the storm stood Valara, her eyes glowing like twin stars, and Jack Varin, rifle in hand, never leaving her side. The human rebels gathered behind them, tired but unbroken. They had survived this long because of one reason: Valara was no longer just a girl with power. She was their weapon. But the Baron was coming to face her himself, on his flagship. The Baron stood in his dark chamber, staring at a giant screen. "That showed Valara. She's fully awake," the Baron growled. "But she is still my daughter, and I know her weakness." He boarded his personal warship, larger and deadlier than the others, the Blood Reaper. His army of elite soldiers followed. On Earth, Jack spotted the massive ship breaking through the clouds. "He's coming," Jack muttered. Valara closed her eyes. "I can feel him. His mind, it's full of hate, but also fear." Jack looked at her. "You ready?" Valara smiled faintly. "I have to be. But if I lose control, Jack." "Stop me." Jack shook his head. "No, I'll remind you who you are." Then, like a falling star, the Baron's ship slammed into the ground, shaking the earth. The Baron stepped out, tall, armored, his eyes burning with pride and rage. "Valara," he said, voice booming, "come home or die." Valara stood. "Forward. I'm not yours anymore." Without warning, the Baron attacked, firing a beam of black energy straight at her. Valara raised her hands, creating a shield of light, but the force pushed her back. The ground cracked under her feet. The rebels watched, afraid. Jack shouted, "Hold your ground." But the Baron kept coming, his power dark and heavy. "You're still just a child." The Baron roared, "Let me show you real power." He raised his hand, and the air twisted. Suddenly, the rebels screamed in pain. The Baron was crushing their minds with psychic pressure. Valara cried out, "No!" She pushed forward, light exploding from her body, freeing the rebels from the pain. But her power was burning hotter. "Wilder!" she screamed, sending a wave of light that blasted the Baron back, but also shook the ground for miles. Rocks floated in the air. Lightning cracked in the sky. Valara was losing control. "Valara, stop!" Jack ran to her side. "You're not a weapon." You're more than that. But she couldn't hear him. The power was too much. She was glowing too bright, like she might explode. Then Jack did something no one expected. He grabbed her hand and whispered, "You're not alone." "Come back," Valara gasped. She felt his warmth, his voice inside her mind. She remembered their journey, his kindness. His belief in her. Her light slowly softened. The storm in the sky calmed. She looked at Jack, tears in her eyes. "Thank you," she whispered. Then she turned to the Baron. Her light was no longer wild. It was focused, sharp, ready. "This ends now," she said. She charged, faster than any human eye could see. The Baron tried to strike, but Valara dodged, hitting him with blasts of pure light. For the first time, the Baron screamed in pain. "You are not my daughter," he roared. Valara stared him down. "No, I'm my own person, and I choose humanity." With one final blast, she struck the Baron's chest, breaking his armor, sending him crashing to the ground. The Baron lay still, defeated. Silence covered the battlefield. Then slowly, the rebels began to cheer. Jack smiled. "You did it." Valara looked at the sky. The Baron's fleet, seeing their master fall, started retreating. But Valara raised her hand, sending a signal of energy into space. "Leave and never return. Or next time... I'll destroy your entire fleet." The ships vanished into the stars. The battle was over. Valara fell to her knees, tired but alive. Jack caught her. "You controlled it," he said proudly. Valara smiled faintly. "Because you reminded me who I am." In the ruins of the old Earth, hope was reborn. The humans cheered, their planet still scarred, but no longer conquered. And somewhere in space, a new future waited, because Valara had shown what it truly meant to be. Powerful and human. The battlefield was quiet. The air still carried the smell of smoke, but the war was over. Valara stood in the center of the ruins, her silver hair shining in the morning light. Around her, the human rebels gathered. Their eyes were wide with wonder, not just because they survived, but because they had seen a miracle. Valara had defeated the Baron. Jack Vareen walked to her side, his rifle slung over his shoulder. His face was tired but proud. "You did it," Jack said. "You beat him." Valara shook her head softly. "No, Jack, this was just the beginning. My real test is still ahead." Jack raised an eyebrow. "What do you mean?" Valara looked up at the sky. "Power, I have it. But now I must choose what to do with it." Far away, in the shadows of space, the Baron lay broken inside his retreating ship. His army had abandoned him, his pride shattered. He stared at his own reflection, whispering, "She is not my daughter anymore. She is something else." But deep inside, the Baron smiled faintly. He knew that if Valara lost control, she would still destroy herself, and maybe all of Earth. Back on the ground, the I-Sentinel-9 appeared as a glowing hologram before Valara and Jack. "Valara, Earth's core is dying. Only you have the energy to reignite it. But be warned, if your mind slips, you will burn the planet instead of saving it." Valara's hands trembled. She looked at Jack. "What if I fail? What if I destroy everything?" Jack stepped forward. "Then let me remind you again who you are." He placed his hand on her shoulder. "You're not just a weapon. You're not your father's creation. You're you. And you have a choice." Valara smiled. "Thank you, Jack, I'm ready." The humans gathered as Valara walked to the center of the city, where the earth was cracked and the ground was weak. She knelt down, placed her hands on the soil, and closed her eyes. She reached deep into the planet, feeling the dead core, the cold heart of Earth. She also felt the pain, the scars of war, the lost voices of her people. Tears slid down her cheeks. She whispered, "I'm not just power. I'm hope." Her body glowed brighter and brighter. Energy flowed from her into the ground. The planet trembled. Jack watched with a pounding heart. Come on, Valara, you can do it. Suddenly, the ground cracked wide, a huge rumble shook. The sky then light. From deep beneath the earth, a beam of blue energy shot into the sky, piercing the clouds. The sky, once red and dead, turned blue again. The air became warmer. The winds softer. Earth was alive again. The humans fell to their knees, crying, laughing, cheering. Jack stared in amazement. She did it. She really did it. Valara opened her eyes. She was weak, shaking, but alive. Jack caught her. You brought Earth back, Valara smiled faintly. Because you believed in me. Then Sentinel-9's voice returned. Earth's core is restored. Life can grow again. The Baron is gone, but others will come. They will fear her power. Jack looked at Valara. Then let them come. Earth is ready now. We have her, and we have each other. Valara stood, looking at the horizon. The sun was rising, brighter than before. I'm not just the daughter of a Baron, she said. I'm the guardian of Earth now. Jack smiled. Not bad for someone who was once called broken. Valara laughed softly. I was never broken, just waiting to awaken. And as the sun rose higher, Earth stood free, alive, and ready to face the galaxy again, with Valara, the human weapon. Turned human guardian, standing at its heart.